Alright, what we're trying to accomplish today is we're going to take a piece of lumber like this. We've got it rounded off to about 3 1/8 of an inch. And we're going to take and we're going to beat it like what we have here. Okay, so these beatings, we've got 24 reeds all the way around this. And then after we're done with the beads, then we're going to take and we're going to turn a tenon on the end to where it'll plug into the this turning piece right here, and then it'll just make the entire piece here that that we're going to end up with. Anyway, that's what we're going to try to do today. We're going to be doing the reading on the woodchuck, the old woodchuck. I've had this thing since 1994, so it's been around just a day or two. On the forums, I've put on there about the crank handle indexing. Instead of using the individual holes inside of the gear, we're going to use a crank handle, and we're going to put it right on top of the drive screw, and we're going to use the number of cranks to determine exactly how many reeds we're going to have on our finished product. Now we all know that this rod is 4 threads per inch. In other words, every 1/4 of an inch means 1 revolution on the crank handle. Now what I have to accomplish is 24 reeds. 24 divided by 4 is 6. So what I need to do is I need to use my standard gear set on a 6-inch pitch. So let's go ahead and get that set up. Okay, we can see we've got the gears set up on there, so now we're going to be using a crank handle to move everything around. And what I like to do is I make my crank handle straight up and down, because it's easy to get to, and it's also easy to see if I'm straight up and down or not. If you have it like on the side, you don't know exactly where it's going to stop. But this is going to be my point of reference, straight up and down. Every time I rotate 1 turn, it's going to turn this 1/24 of a revolution. So I got to turn the crank handle 24 times in order for my main shaft to rotate 1 complete turn. So that's what we're doing. When we get a piece of wood chucked in there and a bit, the bit that we're going to be using is this guy right here. It's a little homemade jobby. I just took a piece of 1/2-inch straight bar stock, put in a couple of set screws, and modified a Vermont American bit, and that's what I've been using for the last 8 years. So that's what we're going to use to create the beads. Okay, now with the bit in place, we'll go underneath the router, and you can see where the drive shaft is. We have to bring the router bit down to the very center point. Okay, we have the center of the bit and the center point of the drive spur. So now it's going to be centered on the edge of the actual spindle that we're going to be putting the beads on. We've got the whole thing set up now. We've got our gear set into place. We've got it set on a number 6 pitch. 6 times 4 is 24. We're going to have 24 grooves, or 24 cuts on our beaded post here. I've also, because of the problems with the woodchuck, I've got a support in here to keep this thing from flopping around. The woodchuck was a very, very floppy unit, and that's why they went to the extruded aluminum bars. But anyway, I've compensated for that thing for years. So anyway, we've got this thing set up. I've got a few passes already made on this, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this thing on, and we're going to finish these passes and get this thing to where I can show it to you. Safety first. Very good. Now we can unchuck this thing and have a look at that. We've got 24 perfect grooves around there, perfectly spaced, and I didn't have to put a pin in a hole. Happy day for me. Alright, let's just see how long it takes to get one of these babies going. We're starting out from a dead run and hitting start. Oops, that's not start. Oh, I guess it did start. Alright, we're 10 seconds behind. We gotta get back to work. Okay, 2 minutes and 10 seconds. And we had a 10-second slow start, so I'm saying 2-minute cycle per stick at 24 flutes or beads per unit. Each of the sticks are 16 inches long, so that's not a bad pace. And I've got 20 of them, so in an hour I can have all 20 of them done. Well, I better get to work. How about that? We went from a pile that looked like that to a container with all the prettiness involved.